All right, then let's go. Alicia Ann Reaney here, out for a walk. Reaney is my little best dog friend. She is a scruffy terrier schnauzer mix. This week is going to be a two-part. I split up my thoughts on speaking to clients. So here we go for part 2 of sustainability talks with your clients. This is Sustainable Events Dog Walk, a short podcast from Positive+Impact Event Consulting, where you can get a quick nugget about sustainability for your events and event business while on a walk with Alicia and her dog Reaney. Sustainability is a big project, but we'll get there together, one little step at a time. So here we are again, part 2. In part 1, we covered why you want to talk about sustainability with your clients, that it's a benefit for them, it's a benefit for you, it's showing off your expertise. You want to bring it to them, not as more problems for them to solve, but as completed solutions, as upsides, as bonuses. And we talked about when to start talking about it. Find out your information during your research of how best to serve and impress them with the additional sustainability stats on their event, and then present that information as you have it, as you're collecting it, and after the decisions are made. We'll talk a little bit more about how to present it if they need to make a decision on this episode. So when the time comes that you do need to present them with options, adding in the sustainability metrics of your options or bids or whatever they are as part of the decision-making process for your clients, you should make it feel very automatic. We don't want this to be a labored addition. If they're working on another project with a coworker and they're being presented options of choices for another event, we want them to turn to their coworker and say, that's funny, why are there no social concerns listed? Why are there no environmental concerns listed? My planner always presents me with that information. You should be able to envision how presenting this bonus raises the standards of your clients, doesn't increase your workload very much at all, but really shows off your expertise and your consideration, which is such an important thing. So hopefully you've been able to hear that what I'm getting at is that you don't need to be addressing each of these conversations with the header of let's talk about sustainability or let's talk about inclusivity, but instead you're just throwing out small bits of information for your clients to see what sort of impact is going on and what your vendors and you are doing that has real world implications. You don't need to explain the procedures by which one of your partners is reducing energy use. Just tell them what the energy savings are. You should know, and you should be able to address it if they ask and follow up about that, but just presenting it to them as an upside that they don't have to give much of a second thought to is the value. And then when it comes to terminology, keep it focused on outcomes. No need to burden clients with the detailed changes that make their event more sustainable. And then when you are sharing your expertise, if you can present a concern about, for instance, the agenda. I know you're very eager to supply your attendees with this high value information and make sure everyone has the most opportunity to get everything that they need. But having walked this building, I think we need more time between sessions for people to access vital biological needs, such as food, drink, restroom. You don't have to present that as this is a pillar of sustainability. Oh, hi, friends. In your own marketing, you emphasize that in all of your projects, you advise on personal health and human well-being as a key component of event planning. But with your clients, you just remind them the outcomes that they need to be considerate of. If we're asking people to walk up to X distance, do they also have time to stop for a drink of water or to use the restroom? If not, perhaps we consider a longer break. On a side note from that perspective, also, does the staff have room for a break between those sorts of things? But that's just a red flag from a recent project in my mind. So to recap, you're addressing it with your clients as part of their event build and orientation. You're presenting the information in plain language focused on the outcomes. When presenting options, you're including that information in a way that implies it's customary and makes you look really good. And then at the end, you're providing a report of ways that your consideration on these topics makes your client look good and gets them free marketing and communication fodder, and then using that yourself for all your own stats and your own communication about the event as well. I recorded this episode with Earth Day and Earth Month in mind, thinking, how are you best advised to present information on what you're doing about sustainability to your clients, how to use it as the value add and to show off your expertise and your skills and your knowledge of your vendors and your environment. But I also want to touch on the fact that this is highly desirable from your clients, whether or not they know how to ask for it. A huge proportion of businesses, contrary to a lot of the news we're seeing, and a huge proportion of individuals are all saying in surveys repeatedly throughout time that environmentalism, community and social issues, economic issues are always on their mind, especially business owners, especially people who are running enterprises. So don't go into this worried that you're going to have to convert people. This is something that's on all of our minds. We are in a place that is experiencing the changes from the climate crisis. We are in a place that is very proactive in talking about social issues. Whether people know how to ask for it with regards to their events or not, being able to address these concerns that are in the backs of their minds is going to really endear you to them. It's going to make you seem like such a more rounded business person to be considerate of these elements for your community. And it really does show off your expertise because you're broadening your focus from the niche item that you're working on to these greater concerns, which takes skill. And the political climate right now, combined with everyone's general terribleness fatigue, is leading very strongly toward this concept that they have deemed, and I hate this term, I think it's so ugly and dumb, green hushing, which is in opposition to green washing, the idea that you do sustainable things with the intention of them being sustainable, but you specifically do not talk about them for fear of either being canceled for doing it wrong or because people might be reacting to it in a way that you don't have the bandwidth for. So don't fall into the trap of hushing yourself for the good work you're doing. I wanted to really reassure you that this is something that the general public and consumer base are curious and interested in. They want to know about, they want to see improvements, but they're not experts in our field. They don't know how to ask. They don't know what could be changed, but you do. So you can step in and solve that problem without them even having to ask for it. And that is a huge value add on your part. Did I cover everything? Do you have any questions about your particular clients? Feel free to submit a question on my Google form or by the email in the podcast description. And I'll see you back next week for more tips, tricks, inspiration, philosophy, and ideas on sustainability in events. Thanks for joining me on Sustainable Events Dog Walk. I'm Alicia Drewby, founder of Positive Impact Event Consulting, and I want to help you integrate sustainability into your event business so you're ready to make every event you work on more sustainable. See you next time.